want to explore just for a second, if we could, the mindset, because this is not what happens for most people. Most people don't, like I've been taking supplements and protein powders and stuff my entire life. And I don't know that I even looked at the ingredients and was like, oh, that one looks good. It's got a nice label. I'll take that one. And maybe on Amazon, I might look at reviews and make a purchase decision as a result of that. But you went at it a completely different way. And I think for entrepreneurs, it's important to understand, because so much of what we do, build, and what we accomplish is the result of how our brains work. What the hell happened in your head to make you think that, because you had no formal training in this, that I'll just buy some stuff off Amazon and I'll mix it all up and it'll work? Like, come on.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would assume that I was just another one of those tech-obsessed biohacker type folks. Yeah. There's a lot of those nowadays, but that really was not who I was. I was pretty, I would say, poorly versed in the world of nutrition science, in the world of food science, in the world of performance nutrition. It was interesting to me, sure, because I had always been an athlete, and as an athlete, you want to perform your best. But I think what was really interesting to me about making something for myself was also this concept of progress, right? Of being able to make something X% better than what I was seeing, not only on the market, but also what I was eating for myself, right? And kind of like this athlete mentality where every single day you can be better than yesterday. But really, when you apply it to business building, it means you're constantly seeing things out in the world where you say, man, this would be just a little bit better if you could do it this way. And protein powder was not my obsession. Again, it was just something that I found very, very jarring on the market of products that I was seeing out there in the world. Enough so to the point where I thought, what if I try to do this myself? And that sort of tinkering is something that's always been part of my psyche, part of my mentality. And it honestly is, I think, proven pretty valuable in building the business as well, because I was a liberal arts undergrad. I didn't know the first thing about raising venture capital. I didn't know the first thing about setting up a business model. I didn't know the first thing about pitching VCs. I didn't know the first thing about nutrition science or building an operations team or building a growth marketing function. And yet, this obsession with progress and making both myself and the organizations and groups and products and people around me better every day is something that I think is really carried through from those early days of mixing protein powder in tubs to building an organization of people who are all kind of unified in the same mission of bringing personalized nutrition to everyone.
So at some point after your Breaking Bad experiment yielded some results, something that you could put in your body and not get sick from, what did you do then? You thought, okay, so I'm going to make this for myself. Did you know you were going to make a company? And I would assume you did, but if you knew you were going to make a company, like, how do you go from, all right, I got batch number 1, I didn't puke. Now I got to see if anybody wants to put this in their bodies or buy this stuff. Like, walk us through what happened.
Better than not just avoiding puking. It actually made me feel good. I understood why the ingredients were in there. I understood where they came from. And I understood that they were made for me. Granted, they weren't made for me by an expert performance nutritionist, but they were made for me by me. And that was enough. And that made me feel good. So when I landed on that blend for myself, that really worked. Like I mentioned, I told Jahan, who ended up becoming my co-founder. At the time, he was just my very smart buddy from high school. He was at the time going to Berkeley, full ride chemical engineering and computer science. So he was the whiz kid, the nerd that I'd always known. And also, helpfully, he was my co-captain in college soccer, meaning he too saw my friends go to 7-Eleven and buy their muscle milk after practice or the gym. So I knew that we shared this kind of, if not passion for, outsider interest in the world of supplementation. And when I told him about the idea, he got way more excited than I thought I would ever see Jahan get excited about my wacky ideas. He said, personalized nutrition is the future. This is where the world is going. He dug up this FDA paper, 75-page FDA paper about how they're going to make the regulatory environment more accepting of personalized products, because that is what is most efficacious for people. And that level of excitement from Jahan, my smartest friend, my whiz kid, Berkeley grad friend, was enough for me to say, whoa, wait, there might be something here. And Jahan said, yes, absolutely. This is going to be a fully fledged business that can't just be your basement side project in college. And that's what led us to apply to accelerators and startup incubators like Y Combinator, which is where we eventually ended up just a couple months after graduating. We ran the gamut. So first, something that actually gets overlooked, I think, in our founding story pretty frequently is we went to Cincinnati, Ohio for a few months. And we worked out of a startup accelerator called the Brandery, because they were, yes, the only people who accepted us out of many, many dozens of applications, but also specifically for consumer packaged goods, CPG brands, which was something that we really wanted. And they helped us do the version 1 of our brand to find out what the ethos of what we're trying to build was. And that amount of progress, that amount of traction was able to get us into Y Combinator.
Did they give you any money and take any equity?
So the Brandery was an accelerator that was for equity. And so we did 2 accelerators, which is typically more dilution than I would counsel early stage founders to take on from accelerator programs. But in our case, we were fresh out of college, didn't really know what we were doing, didn't have a tech company. We had a CPG company. Yep. And for that reason, I don't think we'd be around if it weren't for both the Brandery and for Y Combinator, and really, really appreciative of everything that they did for us in both accelerators.